This is Tribe with Tribe Sports Bag. I'm back at it again today, and I'm getting into some sports. And as you've seen, it's about boxing once again. Hey, it seems like it's always about boxing. We're in the middle of the college football season. The NFL is on the go. The World Series in baseball is here. I still haven't spoken anything about baseball as you see, but boxing is the gift that keeps on giving. And here we are. And as you can see, Bias is on the set, so you know what it's all about. It's boxing. We've now bought the boxing Lord. He's here as well. So we're going to get into some boxing because you know why you're here. You saw the thumbnail. And if you saw that thumbnail, you know exactly what's going down. Vasiliy Lomachenko, after nearly a year out of boxing, is now back on the set doing his thing. But did he really get a chance to do his thing? He took on the very young Jamaine Ortiz from Massachusetts, and it was a closer than expected battle. We have some opinions, so join us on this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you like that, and join in on the conversation if you have something to say and contribute to the show. Bias, Lord, what did we see last Saturday? These two guys weren't supposed to fight that way, at least not Ortiz.
You know, it could have been the situation where Ortiz was very familiar with him. You know, when Lomachenko tried to do some footwork, he did some footwork of his own. But what I saw was an older Lomachenko who wasn't pulling the trigger like he used to. And that judge that had it 117, 111, they should never be allowed to judge the fight.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. You know what? I've been saying some things in reference to Lomachenko for a while, and these things are so. Again, I'm not going to be a Lomachenko apologist. I know there've been a lot of guys have been really, really high on him for the last few years, so I'm definitely not doing that because I was saying some of these things years ago. I picked Teofimo Lopez to beat him. I already think that 135 is his ceiling. He's not really a big guy. His shoulders are narrow. He's not very long. It takes a lot to be a smaller guy getting underneath and pass punches over and over and over again. It just takes a lot of energy. And I saw when he got dropped against Linares, I'm saying, like, this is the ceiling. Anything beyond this is suicide. And he's going to have a lot of problems with these guys. I don't know if you guys saw after the fight when he was talking to Haney, but, you know, he's joking that, this guy's a heavyweight. This is what I'm saying. He's not a big guy at 35. And I think people are getting a little bit hip to him. You know, people have seen what's given him trouble from Salido to Teofimo Lopez and now this. I think people are, the aura of invincibility and the mystery isn't quite there. I think there might be some ring rust, and like Bias, like you said, he's only getting older, like all of us. But I just think he's in a talented ass division with some boys that are bigger than him and younger than him, faster and fresher and hungrier than him. You know what I mean? Like Jamaine came in there like, I ain't got a damn thing to lose. You know, he came in there literally. It's on in the background right now. That guy came in and he was sharper than I thought he was going to.
Oh, that dude was fantastically sharp. Yeah. The first thing I noticed about him was his sharpness. This guy came out with nothing to lose, a young guy. The only real problem I had with him, and it wasn't even with him, it was with his corner. They should have told him to calm down because, you know, he was antsy. He was on the big stage. He wanted to get it done. Of course, he sparred with him before, but that's not the same as a fight. He came out. He was a bit frenetic, but he was sharp as hell. And I think that was the problem because he could not hold that pace regardless of how young he was or how conditioned he was for the entire fight against a guy like that. Because you saw the countering starting in the fourth round and the fifth round, and then he slowed down, and then it was kind of made it closer than it should have been.
Yeah, and something I noticed early on, which I think, and I don't want to jump the gun with the Haney talk, but I'm excited about that prospect. But that Lomachenko was diligent about keeping. He was winning the foot on the outside battle of the southpaw and the orthodox fighter. I didn't see Ortiz even looking at that. It didn't seem like he was even checking for if his foot was on the outside. And I think as things start to slow down and he was using energy, it's allowing Loma to keep that back door closed a little bit. It's allowed it just befuddles escapes if you ain't got that outside foot. You can't go but one direction really. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was probably a small tactical error. And the guy's got a lot less experience than him.
Exactly, a lot less experience. But let's not forget, this guy's had a pretty elaborate amateur career as well. You know, I think people picked against him because they don't know who he is. And when he showed what he did, they're giving him more credit for Loma getting older than the credit this guy deserved for being actually that good, because we've seen him fight before against Herring, and he did the same, pretty much not the same thing like that, but He was impressive in that as well. I mean, look at the guys he fought. Remember, he fought Boots Ennis as a amateur. I mean, he lost to him, but he fought some pretty big names as well. He had a pretty elaborate career. I think 114 total fights, won 100 of them. So he had that experience. I'm still wondering at this age, he's been boxing since he was 7. Why so few fights so far? And right now, we also have Andre Bird, the professional boxer who had just joined us in this conversation.
What's up, Drake?
What's up, brother? What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
And you know what we're talking about.
Your turn.
Bias gave his opinion. Lloyd gave his opinion on the fight that just happened last Saturday between Jamaine Ortiz and Vasiliy Lomachenko, who hadn't fought in almost a year. What is your opinion, being a boxer, being in there? You know, you met Devin Haney and those kind of guys. I mean, they've been at fights. You've been on their undercard before. What's the deal?
When it comes to Lomachenko, it's more like he's been off for a year, and he fought somebody that knew his style. So it's a combination. I want to see how he does in next fight, but he looked average. He didn't look great. He looked average. That guy Ortiz showed up, showed out, and he did his thing, man. I mean, he was doing a combination of Lomachenko there. I'm like, wow, this guy hit Lomachenko like that. Yeah. And from the beginning, you know, of his boxing pro career, it's hard to touch Lomachenko. This guy was hitting Lomachenko with a bias shot, everything, and a kitchen sink. I'm like, wow. And Lomachenko was just slowing down and picking his shots, but you also have to realize that Lomachenko is a small 135.
Your Lord just said that.
Yeah.
He just said it.
Small 135. And I met Devin Haney. I met Boots. I met all these guys, and they're big guys. They're not small. They're big, especially Boots. But he's a big guy. And Tank walk around 180. He walks around like 180. We don't want to know that. Ryan Garcia walks around. Ryan Garcia walks around probably 160, 170.
Yeah.
So I guess we can agree Lomachenko is not the same fighter, because the question's up there: is Lomachenko the same fighder?
Yeah,
obviously, based on our output, he's not. And is it because of the time? Is it because the wear and tear of 197 amateur fights, losing only one, and now the professional careers, which is still under 20 fights, and then now age and now a layoff? Is it all of that, or are we taking too much away from Ortiz and the performance he put on?
I think that 135 is just talent deep. There's a lot of good guys there. And just like Dre was just saying, and I was saying earlier, you're a smaller guy now starting to get older guy in with big, fresh, young guys. I don't know that Lomachenko is so much diminished, but what he's dealing with now is different. Look, I mean, everywhere you look around, 135 got everybody shook.
That's
ready
the hottest division.
Pull the trigger, you know what I mean? Take the gun out the holster there. Like, it's killers all over the place. So everybody a little nervous. Who's going to make the first move? We're about to see something, because I think Bob Arum is ready to serve Lomachenko up. And I don't know whether that's to Haney or to Shakur Stevenson, but he's ready to cash him out and trade him up for a younger horse. So we're about to see some of this work about to happen at 35. The rest of the guys are a little scared right now. And I'm not saying scared, because I don't believe fighters are scared, but they don't want to lose their position.
Yeah.
I think the managers don't. The managers don't. The promoters and managers don't want to lose it. The fighters fight, man. The mindset of these guys, I've been around for decades. These dudes want to fight. You know, they may feel a little nervous when they get in there, like a Michael Spinks was before he went in with Tyson. But they know the business. They've been in the conditions to do what they've been doing. So what surprised you the most about this, Bias? Because
hang on. You know what's funny though? Is after Lomachenko's average performance, Floyd comes out and says he's ready to make the fight with Tank.
Of course.
How he's ready? Come on now. Come on. I mean, I think Tank would beat him, but he probably would have beaten him before Saturday, or if they fought on Saturday.
I don't know. I think when Lomachenko was first asked about Tank, he said, I'll fight anybody. I don't think Tank was ready. When 3 years later he wasn't ready. He's ready now because he's a bigger guy. And Lomachenko is starting to slip. I mean, you can see it. His age catching up on him. And you know, he's not a power puncher, Lomachenko. He's a combination, spin you around. Yeah, he's a boxer. And I think he could. I think he could beat Tank. He can't bang with him. Because you try to bang with Tank, you're going to sleep. Right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
getting knocked.
But who would want to do that? Boxers are known for their discipline. Why would you go in with a guy like that? Because Tank also, as you and I had spoken earlier, talking about how Tank is fast. He has fast hands. He can be fast when he wants to, but he doesn't use that speed. It's like Mayweather when you saw Rafael Garcia counted at 6,000 punches in a training session. Then he fights and throws 30 punches in a round.
Yeah,
at most.
I feel like Tank's stature, his confidence. Matter of fact, not even just the confidence, because he's built that up now. Now it's really gotten to where the fact that he's getting confident in his business side of the career lets me know I'm sure he's confident in the ring. But he's frustrated. I think he's sick of the safety first approach that Mayweather is doing with Tank, and I understand because that's really their only breadwinner for real. Just like Oscar's doing with Ryan Garcia. That's their one big chip. You know what I mean? That's their big move. But I know Tank is ready to kick somebody's ass. He wants to be he's ready for an actual fight. And that's probably what I'd be concerned with before anything. He's upset with Floyd. People have been talking shit online and he only cherry picks and da. Boy's from Baltimore. I live in this city right now. I'm telling you, that dude is ready for some work. He's ready for some work. And the Lomachenko that we're seeing now and the Tank that I think is chomping at the bit, that'd be a bad situation. Andre, I agree with you. 3 years ago, I was saying I would keep Tank away from that Lomachenko. Me personally, if I'm managing, we go steer clear of that until this boy get a little bit better. But now it's a problem. I'm telling you, it's a problem.
Yep, it is.
Lomachenko doesn't want that Tank work now. Not now.
I think we're seeing a little bit of Lomachenko doing the Roy Jones. You know, when Roy Jones finally didn't have the reflexes to rely on, we saw what Antonio Tarver did to him. We saw what Glenn Johnson had done to him. I think Loma's now falling into that area of those physical gifts that made him the Matrix aren't intact anymore, and they're fading because Mother Nature or Father Nature, they're undefeated against boxers in particular. And I think he's now going to start getting hit more and get knocked down by some of these guys, and maybe might not be able to get up if you get hit by the wrong guy. Probably someone like Tank.
Yeah. Look, the things that require more energy when dudes are bigger than you, them little spin-offs and turning a guy or moving a glove and all that, it's harder. Like you say, for example, you may parry a shot out the way, but they're recovering its back faster because they're bigger and stronger. You don't push them away like you push a smaller guy away. You can really get away or, shoulder check or spin out, and your shit sticks a little bit better because you're at a closer size. When you're small, you don't really be moving in big dudes, and they're young too. So I just think it's gotten to a place where it's the combination of the size and the age, and not so much the age. I think the talent and the size is a problem now for Lomachenko. Just look around. Shakur, who would you favor him over out of the big names? Shakur? Would you favor him over Shakur?
Oh no, I think you're asking me if I favor Shakur over him.
No, who would you favor Loma over out of the big names?
The bigger guys right now at his age and after the performance, and I'm not taking anything away from Ortiz. Yeah. God, I mean, it's tough. I mean, really, because even Ryan Garcia or even Tio already beat him, so we can't even put him there.
I was just gonna say, even Ryan Garcia, who gets a lot of shit, keeping that chin in the air and all that, but that's a big motherfucker at 35.
And he was a big boy. I don't think he made 135. I don't think he can make 135.
He said he's done, but I think that's because of Haney. He's trying to, or because of Tank. They're trying to get Tank to come up to 140 so this boy can rehydrate and be a goddamn junior middleweight by the time the bell ring.
I mean, that's boxing. That's boxing for you.
Yeah.
What concerns me the most if I'm in Loma's camp is I saw openings that he wasn't taking, or like I said, I think he just couldn't pull the trigger like he used to.
I think he was worried a little bit because this Ortiz was quick. He was sharp. He was quick. And when you that sharp, that quick, man, Loma's going to wait for opportunities to counter, and he did that, but he only did that when Ortiz got tired in the latter rounds. He started getting his timing and started doing a little bit more effective countering. In the beginning, man, when Ortiz was just coming and throwing the 4 and 5 piece at him, he just didn't get the opening because, first of all, the age and then the rust. And then this guy was just too frenetic, man. He was just too fast, and he also had some power. But I also think there was a method to the madness in terms of picking someone like Ortiz. And I don't know he expected Ortiz to come out that sharp, but it's good that he did because Ortiz, at least for that night, looked a lot like what Devin Haney brings to the table. With more power, because we know Haney's not a powerful guy. He's just an IQ out this world. But Ortiz, for one night only, if nothing else, looked just like Devin Haney. And this probably was something that would help Loma in the future to at least compromise when he's in the training camp.
Yeah. And also a lot of fighters not scared of Lomachenko anymore. Like before, it's like, oh, I want to fight that guy. Now it's like, shoot,
right?
Where he at? Where he at?
Like Floyd.
Yeah,
like Floyd, want to get take ready now.
Yeah. Hey, where you at? Cause remember, a lot of guys avoided Lomachenko. They either move up or move down, or you know what? I don't know. He can have the belt.
X-Man is coming back. He said he might want a rematch.
Who?
X-Man. Nicholas Walker.
No, yeah, X-Man might want a rematch, but the way he was beaten,
the movie X-Man, that's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Look at the question.
What about this? What about Cruz versus Lomachenko?
I'd like to see it.
You know what? I'd like to see Cruz versus Isaac Cruz, man. Bro,
No,
Ortiz versus Isaac Cruz.
Remember Lomachenko fought Cejudo when he first lost. Mm-hmm. And we never seen him fight anybody like that again. Now we add Cruz into that mix, who is harder than Salido. He's younger, probably stronger. I want to see how Lomachenko does with that kind of problem.
Yeah,
because Cruz don't care. He'll come straight in. He has game plans to knock you out.
Yeah,
and he's going to do what he needs to do, take the shots and all that to get to that point.
And he don't get tired. He just keep coming.
Oh, he don't get tired. He's in Mexico training. Look out the altitude, man. That guy's like fighting Colorado Springs plus a point and a half. You know what I mean? And he's doing. Come on. This guy came on the scene with Tank. Even Tank is not ashamed to say, "I don't want no more of that, man. I did my thing. Let me move on, man. I don't want it anymore."
I think from that would probably, from a business perspective, that would probably be a bad move because the reward isn't there, and you're gonna have a tough night. You have a tough fucking night for less money. If you want to have a tough night, you might as well get a tough night with somebody who got a name because that's not going. It's not going to look pretty no matter what. He's not going to come out looking nice.
Only one high risk.
Yeah, and then the stock in terms of people's perception, that's going to go even lower because right now people are like, hey, is he old? If he has another night like that with Ortiz, everybody's going to write him off. I mean, I wouldn't do that. From a business place, at least you can understand being outboxed by a Shakur or by a Haney because a lot of guys are going to get outboxed by those guys. You know what I'm saying? You save some stature, but Ortiz, I think it'd be rough and tumble no matter what. That's going to take a lot out of that guy, whether he wins or loses. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that.
So how much credit does Jamaine Ortiz get for his performance? And I know when people are discussing it, they're taking more away from Loma and the layoff and getting older. They're taking more away from him than giving Cruz or giving Ortiz the credit. I think Ortiz deserves 100% credit for what he had done. I still fault his corner for not calming him down and having him kind of pace himself after he started off so fast.
You know, it always tell you that who looked good because you don't hear people calling Jamaine's name right now. Then you didn't see that and be like, you know what, I want those problems. No, you didn't look at him and be like, you know what, let me get some of that. They talking about Lomachenko and people looking for food. They're not looking for a tough night. Yep, and that guy looks like he's ready to go. I mean, you're not going to have an easy night. I'm not saying I would pick Ortiz to win, but that gentleman that I just saw is going to give everybody a tough outing. They're going to have a tough night. He knows what he can do. He's athletic. He's young. He's strong. I mean,
and after this weekend, his confidence like way up there now.
Man. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I give him 100%. He it's almost like the Cruz when he fought Tank. Nobody really know who Cruz really was. Right. He fought Tank like, man, this guy can fight, and everybody know Cruz. The same effect with Ortiz. He was like on the radar ish, and he fought Lomachenko. Everybody breaking about Ortiz, how good he is. Because their combinations, it's hard for a lot of guys to start the combination.
You know, and after everything that Loma has done in boxing so far, the question asked, why does Loma have so many haters? I mean, after this fight, the haters came out. If you've been to these boxing boards, these clown boxing boards, Facebook groups and whatnot, I mean, these are guys who have trolls and they're entertaining. They want to entertain with trolls instead of coming with the knowledge as we have as, slipping counter boxing on Facebook, cheap ass plug. But no, if you want to go to a boxing page that has a boxing group that has people who really care about boxing, really talk about hardcore boxing, where trolling is frowned upon, that would be the place to go. But anyway, back to the case. Why does Loma have so many haters? Is it because of the way he was promoted? He got his first title shot in his second fight, even though he lost it.
It's the fan base, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, he has got one of those small but supremely, I'll use the word audacious, fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
When we start talking about people that are better than all-time greats, I'm one of them dudes that takes some of that kind of talk as kind of sacrilege. You got to give respect to the people that have done things, legitimately done things. We're not going to discount Andre Ward when we talk about the significance of the Super Six. Oh, man, that was X amount of years ago. But then at the same turn, love a man's amateur career. Time out. That was even longer ago. You got to give props for what people have actually done. And I think some of the comparisons and, oh, he beat Floyd. I mean, you just hear people talking just reckless. You like the methodology. You like the way Loma. Let me tell you what I do like about him. That is his fans that cause the fucking problem. Loma reminds me when he's on his shit like a nice pocket quarterback that's chill. He got poise. He's going to take the steps. He's going to take the move. He's not going to wig out, waste a lot of energy. And it is nice to look at. But when you hear motherfuckers who probably don't watch a lot of boxing, they just want to see a guy that reminds them of themselves and just talk reckless. That's why. That's why. I mean, you didn't rematch Solido. You lost to. It very well end up being a one-hit wonder. I mean, I just think we may have gone too far with the Loma talk, the greatness and the legend of the Matrix. We might have just took it too far. I just think the fan base, for me, the fan base got on my nerves.
It could be he was on that streak, the Lomachenko streak where he was making everybody quit.
Yeah.
And, that made his fan base rabid.
They got crazy.
Made him think he could stop anybody. But, as we've been talking, Father Time beats everybody, and I don't know if he's on his last leg, but he's on his back nine for sure.
Yeah.
And how long can he stay at the top level?
I still see people looking at his 397 amateur fights when they're talking about his professional career, because almost every conversation and every fight he has, there's always someone, a commentator or otherwise, alluding to his amateur record. All of the time, the 2 gold medals, the 396-1 record. They're always talking about that. So even though he has less than 20 fights, they're giving him probably a little bit more credit than he deserves as a pro. But physically, he's done things in the ring against top fighters that we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, Pernell Whitaker-esque type of things.
Yeah, no, that, and you touched on a real interesting thing, which let me say, I'm not a hater. I'm not that kind of a dude. I have no problem giving a man props for his amateur accomplishments, but at the same time, why don't we give a guy like Deontay Wilder, who didn't really have an amateur career, why don't we give him more props for what he was able to manage without all that knowledge and all that experience? You're talking about, I mean, 19 years old. I'm not trying to steer this into the Deontay thing. I just want it to be even keel in terms of the way the fan bases and some of the media give people props. Yeah, he had a long amateur career, so you could come in your second fight and fight for a title. This young brother started boxing at like 19 years old. That's old as hell. They ignore you in the gym if you come in at 19, unless you like a specimen. Don't just be some regular looking dude. You ain't gonna get a whole lot of looks, man.
I think it has a lot to do with him being a heavyweight, and we know that heavyweights don't have elaborate amateur careers. It's very rare we have a Andy Ruiz who had over 100 amateur fights. I mean, he didn't start off as a heavyweight, but he grew into a heavyweight. But a lot of these heavyweight fighters start later anyway. You know what I mean? And like George Foreman, I mean, same. Yeah. He's almost the mirror image of what happened with Deontay Wilder. He ended up getting his gold medal though in '68. So so heavyweights don't normally get it. Get a lot of fights in the amateurs anyhow, and then when they turn pro, we see what happens from there. And then what's hurting Deontay Wilder is the era in which he's fighting with these heavyweights. We can't even really quantify what his punching power really is, because people automatically assume the hardest puncher ever, no questions asked. But when you're knocking out Eric Molina, it isn't the same thing as knocking out Joe Frazier or Jerry Quarry or Ernie Shavers or Ken Norton. Just a litany of people that George Foreman just kind of ran through. Well, with the
it's got to be a thing, though, when you're 208 and the homeboys got you by like 30, 40 pounds, and you drop them like a bad habit. That man. I tell you what, that's a person I don't, because those wiry guys sometimes can.
Oh, they got the power.
Like he got like a big ass heavyweight Tommy Hearns kind of body. Yeah, like them wiry guys sometimes they could really get some torque and some leverage on them joints. I wouldn't want to get hit by him. I really would. I really wouldn't, yo. I'd rather take a short Mike Tyson hook than a long ass Deontay Wright. I'm telling you right now. I don't want that one.
We're gonna shift this back a little bit.
Okay, my bad.
No, I'm just saying the reason why, because the question is up there already. The Devin Haney fight with Loma. It's the only next fight I believe these two could have. Right now, Loma already committed himself to saying I'm the B-side, so there's no argument there. Yeah. And after what
I have to say, I don't believe Lomachenko earned a shot at Haney after Saturday night's performance.
I think you earned a shot. I think that remember the main guy that went to the fight is Devin Haney, but everybody wants Lomachenko because you beat Lomachenko, that's on your resume. Like, yo, you beat a two-time brothers.
That's true. I'm just saying, based off his performance, I don't think he deserves a shot at Haney.
Him
being who he is and what he's done, okay, we'll give it to him. But I'm just saying, I don't think he earned it Saturday night.
Remember De La Hoya fought Phoenix Stern? And De La Hoya
Felix Stern, right?
He was like 800 pounds.
But hey, you know what? He did not deserve a title shot with a B-Hop, but they gave it to him because
you're right.
It's not like it wasn't that bad, but it's round
he
there.
lost like 8 rounds to Stern.
Bro, he said he was in the best shape of his life, but I had a beer gut, man.
You know what though? What could the only thing that could or should trump that Haney fight could be Tank because it's more money.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Now I'm kind of with bias, but not on the sense of the performance, the last performance. But I'm almost kind of feel like, dog, you dropped the belt and took that franchise shit rather than fight Haney when it was Haney's turn. I wouldn't be mad if Haney was like, you know, whatever with this dude. Like I don't like, and I don't use the word ducks a lot. I don't like that. I don't like when you're a fighter, you're supposed to want smoke. And you're supposed to have a certain amount of pride. Even if you lose to a guy, I always felt like, and again, I wasn't a pro, no kind of shit like that, but you're going to know you fought me. You know what I'm saying? That's how my attitude, you're going to know you was in something. Yeah, I can't control winning everything, but you were in something tonight. And I just feel like you're supposed to have, like, and I'm not a Tim Bradley fan, but how Tim Bradley carried it and how Sean Porter carried it, you're going to be in something tonight. Win, lose, or draw, it's going to be a thing tonight. And I don't like when fighters that are really highly regarded have that kind of an attitude. Like I get it from Canelo. I'm starting to get it from Bud.
What with Bud, man?
Looking like dudes don't.
We're going off topic. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying Lomachenko. I'm sorry. Reel me in. But Lomachenko dropped his belt, took the franchise status. This is what really makes it look iffy. WBC president Jose Sulaiman said you have to request it. Lomachenko says he didn't request it. He said they offered it. Either way, you took it, dropped your belt rather than fight this man. Now you want to fight this man? I don't like it. I don't like that kind of stuff, man. I don't know. I don't like it. It's probably going to happen because, like I said earlier,
I hear you. I'm with you. I'm with you, Lord.
Yeah, Bob Arum is cashing out. I think Bob Arum is cashing out of the Vasiliy Lomachenko business.
Cashing out with what? Because right now, Loma's looking at, you know what? I think after what Devin Haney had done with George Kambosos in both fights, especially the first fight when he had taken, I believe, an 80-20 split just to get the opportunity because he believed in himself that much. Does Loma do the same thing at 80-20, even though he knows he's the B-side? He says he's the B-side, which a fighter rarely, or if not any time of his status, says anything like that. And he just wants the opportunity. It almost sounds like, you know what? I'll fight him for nothing. But, you know, of course he's not. But will he take the 80-20?
Bob's going to get him a better deal because, look, at this point, Devin wanted all of them damn belts. That dude was sick of being called email champ and you know, internet champ and all that crap. He was sick of that. But now we got that business done. I think there's enough respect for Lomachenko on Haney's side that he's not going to try to dog that man out.
I don't think so either. But you know what? Haney's a breath of fresh air, man, when it comes down to these boxing dudes. This is a guy who did this A-side, B-side nonsense where everybody made that an issue now since Floyd this on 24/7. Everybody is a A-side, B-side guy instead of house fighter and opponent like it used to be. And this guy to say, you know what? I just want my opportunity, and whatever it takes to get that opportunity, I'll do it. And they went down on him thinking he was going to refuse it, just like some dudes priced themselves out. He underpriced himself to get the opportunity, and then he did it again. Now he can call his shots.
Twice. They tried to do that.
Yeah,
pull some shit with Bill Haney and couldn't get there to the day of. I mean, they tried it.
They tried everything. Tried not to let this man in until the 11th hour. Literally the 11th hour.
Right. That's why with this next question, I'm picking Haney just off the jump. I'm just telling you right now. Anybody decision.
Yeah, based on what we saw last Saturday, even though we could say he's rusty, you know what? If he's not going to be rusty, he's still going to be another 5 or 6 months older if they fight. You know what I mean? And that age, I think, is more of an issue than the rust. It's just going to be a compounded issue when it comes to a head. And we've already seen Devin Haney, his talent oozes out. I think someone said that Shakur Stevenson is the most talented guy in boxing right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Devin Haney, he makes you think you could just walk in there and do the same thing. Just like Pernell Whitaker used to make it look like the Joe Schmo, just walk in the gym and become a champ. When dudes make it look that easy, they're that damn good.
I'm high on both of those dudes. And you have to look at the way they both have come up and who they have had associations with as far as training and talent and sparring. And I love cerebral guys. I love looking at a master chess player, and I really think Haney has the IQ for that and the patience and the focus for that. You know, guys can talk about Chinny, but he didn't get dropped by he didn't get dropped by Linares. He got buzzed, but he didn't get dropped. Loma got dropped.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I don't know why we calling guys chinny. Listen, I don't know.
Joe Frazier's not chinny. Look how he went down 10 times in his career.
Oh, some of these folks that watch the sport we love have never even sparred before, let alone fought. There's punches that hit you that don't look like shit, and them joints put you worse than the ones that look like, your head go back. That one didn't even do it. It might be them short joint to the temple. The room start to come in.
And the sore neck the night after, the same night. The sore neck.
Don't think about eating no steak tomorrow. Steak is off the menu for the week. You're not chewing nothing thick and jaw be hurting and shit.
Remember when Mayweather fought Madonna, and Madonna called him floating the right hand, and Mayweather stumbled
in the second fight.
Huh?
Yeah. Was it that second fight?
The
second round.
He hit him that right hand. Mayweather stumbled. No one said Mayweather was chinny. Huh?
They claim he lost a tooth in that fight. They claim that was a Mayweather's tooth that flew out of his mouth. I don't know what it was.
Right. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Come on, man. Mayweather got like a perfect smile, man.
But I got Haney by points. It's going to be a very, very close fight. I can see them beating Haney.
I've heard a lot of people pick Loma.
I've been around Haney and his camp. For years, this boy has a straight camp. Yeah. No BS. He got all his guys in line, in order. He got a hype man to hype him up when he's working out.
Cortez down with him?
When I saw him, he was with him.
Man, Joe Cortez, the former ref, as an advisor. So, yeah, he got his thing.
Yep. He goes, check the ring. He goes and check the gloves. Does it all. Makes sure it's all legit. And he got his team. He got his team set up very well. I'm like, wow, this how you do it now?
I think Haney's the clear favorite. And if Lomachenko were to beat him, I'd be really, really surprised.
Yeah,
I got Haney up.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Lomachenko beat him. I wouldn't be.
I'm just surprised at how many people from the boxing groups I've been to before last Saturday. How many boxing groups I've been to just acting like it was just going to be not a walk in the park, but it was pretty unanimous across the board that, Devin Haney can't do anything with Lomachenko. After the fight on Saturday, I mean, haven't run into that group again. I'm sure they're still saying the same thing because you know how tribal boxing can be. If you're in someone's camp, you're not leaving. And then when they lose, you just come with a better excuse than the next guy. That's it.
I think Haney beats him with a jab. Right. That's simple. That's simple. He beats him with a jab.
The way Mayweather did against Pacquiao, the left-handed jab against the lefty.
He can make it that easy for us to see, but make it hard for Lomachenko to. Oh shoot, he got a fast jab. I can't get past it.
Yeah. Look at the first 3 rounds against Ortiz, and you can see that. I was literally looking at it just a few minutes ago. That's when I peeped that front foot situation. But yeah, that jab is going to be even sharper, more educated without all the jitterbug. Yep. It's bedtime, man. Go ahead. Not down here, brother. Not down here.
Hey, it is about bedtime for all of us in a minute, man.
No, listen, I'm getting old.
5 minutes just talking boxing. Yo, we could do 5 hours of boxing. We already know that.
Yeah.
We can just go to the history of boxing. Last Saturday's fight. We can talk about the fight that hasn't been fought yet. We can just talk about it and make an hour show out of it.
Yo.
Hey, but to answer this question, what's next for Ortiz? I say put him in with Cruz. Let's see what happens.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what? I should put him in the ring with Romero.
Rolly Romero, man.
I think that dude's still concussed, man. He's talking crazy.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Do it.
He wants Errol Spence. Come on, man.
Oh,
I can't even listen to that dude.
You
know what? You know why? Romero has a hard time making 135. He's a big guy. He walks around probably 180. I see him in person, I'm like, that guy's big. 135, he's bigger than me.
Yeah.
He's big boy. and he has a hard time making 135. He's more like a weight bully.
Yeah.
That's why he said I'll be anybody 135. He's a weight bully.
Yeah.
But the bigger weight, he won't last.
No.
And then his punching power, I don't think he'll carry that punching power up either.
His skills. He's too open.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like he didn't hit Tank, and Tank didn't go nowhere. So does he really have that power? Who was he hitting? Who was he punching?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Romo get beat by that guy, and they gave Romo the decision.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
Yeah, I'm like, he got beat pretty easy. And I think that Ortiz versus Romero, because it's going to sell because Romero going to start talking trash. You know how he talk, man, I'm going to knock him out. And then, oh, man, he's going to hype it up.
You know, though, I think the Ortiz and Cruz would be an easier fight to make because I really think Rolly knows what's going on with himself. He's on some cash out tour. That guy wants a couple of big joints, and it's a wrap. That's why you're talking Errol Spence. You know that's going to be Dallas Stadium, and he's going to put that thunderous ass whooping on you in front of a packed ass crowd. You're going to make big money. It's just like Mayorga. Mayorga got to fight all the big teams.
Garcia playing.
He wasn't. I don't think he even cared about winning. His fight was the pre-fight everything. That was his fight. In the ring, he just caught his L, cashed his check.
I'm telling you, it's like Mayorga. Mayorga ended up fighting all the big names. He got to fight Oscar, Tito, Sugar, and Vargas.
But he beat Vernon Forrest twice.
Yeah, that still baffles my mind, man.
Twice, not in the mouth. Yeah, twice.
Good point.
And he became a legit world champion.
Yeah,
but how did he lose to Corey Spinks?
Bro, that's boxing. You know what? If Corey Spinks was another
easy. Corey out boxing. He's a lefty.
Easily.
Yeah, he's a lefty, and he can frustrate him. He knew what he was doing.
Corey beat Zab Judah, man, and then got
beat back. Yeah.
You know, that first fight went 2 more rounds, that we would have had that rematch. And you know, that's one of my favorite moments because you know I'm a big Zab Judah guy. Bias, you know this. I'm a Zab Judah fan like shit. I love Zab Judah. Yo, when he grabbed Kevin Cunningham's face at the end of the rematch, for all the belts, dog. That was like Christmas or something. I was so excited.
You believe it or not, Zab won my weight class back in 1995 at the PAL Nationals. I was 139 back then.
Wow.
Zab Judah won my weight class. I actually had this thing in my head that, you know what, I want to get a chance to fight Zab. I'm from the Bronx. He's from Brooklyn. He was ranked. I was just there. You know what I mean? And I thought I'd get a chance to fight this guy. And, of course, it didn't work out. By the way, that was also my first time seeing Floyd in person. He was an 18-year-old, 125-pounder. And after about 20 seconds, I was like, this guy should win the gold medal. They robbed him. He should still win the gold medal. But we see what his career turned out to be.
That's nuts. They did that to Roy and him, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Roy was just that was on another level. Floyd lost, and you can say, you know what? There could be someone there that could say, you know what? He lost, but he probably shouldn't have lost as much as he lost. Roy Jones was just complete robbery. They eventually admitted robbing him out of his title. They tried to give him a new one and all that nonsense that they tried to do.
Yeah. Look, his opponent was so ashamed he raised Roy's hand himself like that. No way.
I remember watching it live. Oh man, that's when boxing really mattered in the Olympics. Not anymore. They're about to get rid of it for 2028.
That's nuts. And I believe I heard someone was saying that professional boxing has to clean itself up, like basically like the image of the corruption is too much. It's sullying the Olympics. You motherfuckers, are you serious? Y'all are corrupt as shit. What? If that is not the pot calling the kettle black, I don't know what is, man.
Amateur boxing needs to just stop. They're just looking for someone to blame, and they're looking for a real reason to kick it out of the Olympics without having as much blowback as they should be getting because of it.
But we're gonna keep that curling programming going. We're gonna make sure
curling, bro, stop it. The curling, man. Yeah, I'm still trying to wonder if that's a broom or what, a hockey stick or a broom they're using in that game.
Come on, that's not commanding more viewership than boxing. The only things I watched, I took gymnastics for several years. I was like 7 years. I wanted to be like Spider-Man when I was a kid. Anyway, whatever.
I did a little bit of that.
The only things I ever watch in the Olympics are the boxing and the gymnastics. That's all I watch. I don't care if they could stop everything else.
Track and field.
I'll watch some of that. I will watch some of that.
Like, you see ball action.
It certainly curling. Who's watching that? We're gonna get people punch each other in the face when we get into that. Oh my god, that's insane. That's
well, we hit that 41-minute mark right now, so I think it's about time we put a cap on it. Any last words for any one of you on this fight, future fights, or what's on your mind?
Bud, get your business shit together. Nobody, and I'm sorry, I know a brother that I follow. I'm not going to, put names out there. I'm saying I found out that somebody that I follow and I admire was involved in trying to get this other thing, this app and stuff off the ground. God bless you. But nobody's checking for no Avanesian fight when we was about to get what we were going to get. You were standing in the water in Dubai or whatever, looking for the big fish. Come on, sir. Come on, sir. I like Bud, but you got to get your business right. That is insane, man.
Hey, I think there's stuff on both sides. I don't know the ins and outs. I think Bud wants to fight. I don't know why it didn't happen, but
listen,
we'll see.
Floyd Mayweather took 30% versus Oscar. Oscar picked ring size. He picked the gloves. It was at 54. You got to bring ass to get ass. You cannot talk that much. Listen. This is like somebody talking shit all week in school, and it's Friday, and you're supposed to meet Slim, take his bus home and follow him, and then you take your bus home, and you talked all week. There's just a certain way you're supposed to handle yourself. That was way too much talk to bulk out of those negotiations.
But you know what? But what's the deal? I've heard about the 35-65 split. Bud was willing to take less money. There should be no more of an argument. The fight should happen. What was the other problem? I think the transparency on other revenue streams I heard was the
easy thing to ask. Like, did you ever ask Bob for transparency? They weren't just asking for transparency. They were asking for approval of the budget, like expenditures, how much you're going to put on this. And you need to see how much the marketing budget.
What? Because it affects his bottom line. That's money that could be going to him.
What's the bottom line about to be with this Avenida shit? Because you can't even get tickets.
Oh, well, now that's a whole new story. But I'm sorry, just between he and Errol Spence, the reason why that fight didn't happen, I just don't know, because it was always the A-side, B-side stuff from the very beginning. We kept talking about, or people talked about who's going to budge on the 50-50. Bud was like, I'm not. Errol's like, I'm not. I'm the one putting butts in seats. After each one had their pay-per-view show, one brags, and it was Errol Spence bragging about, bro, I put many more butts, bro. You already know you the B-side. Okay, Bud swallows his pride and says, I'm taking 35%. You can have 65. There should be a fight right there. No other reason why there should not be a fight.
It was a 2-fight deal. That's why I'm saying this is Bud. What are his options? Danny Garcia has moved up to 54. Keith Thurman is waiting for his one cash out check. Who else is there? Sean Porter is retired.
No one wants Boots though.
Nobody wants. Look, I advise anybody. You better don't do it with that guy. He's gonna fuck this whole party up. He's gonna fuck this whole shit up. I love Boots. That's why I want to get this done, because Boots is coming to take everybody's lunch money.
I think he is. I think he is.
I'm telling you, and I'm an Errol Spence guy. Errol is my favorite current fighter. But Boots is coming to take everybody lunch money, and it's going to be a problem. That's why these boys need to get it together. Terrence, you're like 36.
Bro.
Fuck are you waiting for? This is a 2-fight deal to solidify you to be undisputed for the second time against your biggest perceived rival. You don't have a good welterweight resume. Take the 2-fight deal, cash out. Everybody get to avoid Boots. No matter what happens, you can retire. Eric can move up to 54 and let Boots deal with what's going on. Y'all hang around. Boots is going to fuck this up. I'm telling you, that guy is coming to ruin this. He's about to come fuck everything up.
All right, Andre, what's your last word on this?
My bad,
No, man, I just want to see these fights get made, man. Ain't no point of waiting. You didn't get the fights made. Get a fan what they want, and that's killing boxing, man. They're giving you fights that no one cares about.
Right.
Give you fights that people want to see, and keep it going. That's why that's why UFC doing so well, because there's no, well, my manager, your manager, no. It's like, you gonna fight, that's it.
I don't think, because they're more centralized with MMA. I mean, the UFC is more centralized. They have a governing body that's going to let you fight or make you fight whoever. Boxing doesn't have that national organization they've been talking about for decades, and it's probably not going to happen. Too much money to be made, too many greedy people out there, too many moving parts that don't
work. Organizations.
Yeah, exactly. And there's always a new belt popping up, man. We was good with just the 3 belts, even though I thought it was a little bad back then when the IBF came along, gave it to Larry Holmes and legitimized it. And then
after he lost. After he lost.
Well, he got the IBF belt back, I think, in 82, 83. And they legitimized it with him, and then he went on, and then eventually he had lost it. But the point is that you have all of these new sanctioning bodies, and it's all about the sanctioning fees. That's why they keep popping up, and you'll never get rid of them. Before you had the NBA back then, the WBA is the oldest belt, I think, from 1923, I think it is, 28. But the bottom line is, as long as these people think they can always get something for nothing out of somebody because of sanctioning fees, they're going to do it. And that's why we're going to continue to have this. And with that, we can end this session talking about Vasiliy Lomachenko coming back against Jamaine Ortiz, which was a great fight this past Saturday, a much better fight than expected. The young Ortiz accounted himself extremely well. I think he's one of those button-hitting gems in boxing that you might want to keep an eye on moving forward. For Bias, who's always down with us in this boxing conversation, the Lord of Boxing, talking boxing, and Andre, the professional of all of us, this is Trav. Joining Trav Sports Bag boxing segment. Catch you next time.
Peace.